Hello friends, welcome to this YouTube video program. Friends, in our earlier program, we have discussed about some of the assignment questions which is given in one of our MA education program, one of our course under MA education program, that is MES 012 Concept and Nature of Education. And in that course, one assignment question was there to write and to explain the concept education as a discipline. Okay, education as a discipline. So friends, it was not possible to discuss discuss in its entirety about education as a discipline because of the paucity of time. But here I am taking a special session to discuss about whether education is a discipline or not. Friends, you see, this is a continuous debate. You can say in the fraternity of education and among the disciplines and among the faculties. Okay, those are working in education, those are contributing in different other areas of knowledge, other areas of educational practices, whether education is a discipline or not. And a group of persons, they are also saying, or intellectuals, they are also saying that whether education is a professional degree or not. So friends, let us try to find out the answer of such questions. You see, I have already said that a discipline is linked with knowledge, and from a discipline a subject has emerged, a subject has you can say constituted. So when we combine a specific type of knowledge, we form a discipline, maybe a discipline of science, maybe a discipline of humanities, maybe a discipline of language and literature. Okay, so the knowledge base and type of knowledge of a discipline of science is something different from the type of knowledge and its processes of discipline of social science or the discipline of humanities or the languages. So that's why you can say every discipline is having its own characteristics. Without the feature, without the characteristics, you cannot say that this is a discipline. So friends, today what we will do, we will discuss that what are the features, what are the different features and what are the different characteristics of a discipline. And here what we will be doing, we will examine whether all the characteristics are reflected in education or not. If it is reflected in education, then we can say that yes, education is also a discipline. So let us try to discuss. My first point is about the characteristics of a discipline. You see, every discipline is having its own history and development. Every discipline is having its own history. You see, you can say that there is a history of economics. Economics as a discipline, economics is having its own history. You can also say that history as a discipline, history as an academic discipline. You will find that even the academic discipline history is also its own development, own history. Okay, so the discipline of physics is having its own history, own development. So one chronology, you can say, how the discipline has emerged and how the discipline has developed over the times. Here, as every discipline is having its own development and history, own chronology. So let us examine whether education is having such characteristics or not, whether education is having a definite history or not, whether education as a discipline is having its own development or not, having its own chronology or not. Yes, education is having its own chronology, own development and own history. So as a practitioner, as a teacher, as a researcher, you must have studied certain course in your UG and PG program, maybe in B.Ed, maybe in BA education, maybe in M.Ed or in MA education, about the history of Indian education. Okay, so in that paper, in that course, you will find that how education has developed, how education has developed in our country. It is also the concept of education and development of education before independence period and after independence period. Okay, so when we talk about the British before independence period, you can get very good material, very good you can say documents about the development of education during British time, the development of education even if earlier to British time also in medieval period. Okay, in British time we are acquainted with the Woods Dispatch, we are acquainted with the Hatton Committee report, we are acquainted with the Charter Act. Okay, and after independence you see different committee and commissions. You can take the University Education Commission 1948-49. You can say the Secondary Education Commission or the Mudaliar Commission, that is 1952-53. Then Kothari Commission 1964-66. Then National Policy and Education 1986. Then Revised National Policy and Education 1992. Then further now we are talking about the draft National Policy on Education 2019. Anytime, any day, this may be announced, the National Education Policy 2019. This may be published on any day. So here, this is the development. You see, over the times, over the decades, you will find that different committees and commissions, they have given their recommendations. They have observed that what should be the structure of primary education, what should be the structure of elementary education, what should be the structure of secondary education, senior secondary education, what should be the structure of teacher education, okay, what should be the structure of university education. So here education is having you can say its own history, its own chronology. When we talk about specifically, if we'll give one example, if we'll take one example, that let education as a right to Education Act 2009. So here the Right to Education Act 2009 has not developed overnight. You will find the homework and the chronology of making elementary education is a right, is not a matter of 1 year, or this is not a matter of 1 decade even. So the concept has started even if you can say just before the independence. Okay, so this has been included in our article, in Article 45. Then finally it become a fundamental right and included in Article 21A of Indian Constitution. So education is having its own history, its own development. Okay, so that's why, just like other discipline, here also the discipline of education is having its own history and development. So you can say that definitely education is a discipline. Then second, every discipline is having a domain of body of knowledge, or you can say substantial body of knowledge. Just like history, economics, political science, chemistry, botany, zoology, here also in education you will find that education is having a substantial body of knowledge. Okay, so you will find different branches of education are there. Teacher education is a branch, guidance and counseling, special education, and other areas of educational practices are there. So here you will find certain theories, certain principles, certain laws that we practice for conducting research, as well as for designing teaching learning process, and for conducting research also. So that's why just like other discipline, in education also it has its own body of knowledge, it has its own substantial body of knowledge. Okay, then the third we can say characteristics of a discipline, we can say that every discipline is having a research base. We conduct research in economics, we conduct research in mathematics, okay, in political science, in sociology, in geology, in statistics, okay, in chemistry. Here also, just like other discipline, in education also there is a research base. We do research in education, we do PhD, we do project, and we do other higher research also in the discipline of education. We use a certain methods for conducting our research. We use the experimental method, we use the survey method, we use the historical method, We use the philosophical research, philosophical method. We use certain technique to collect data. Okay, we use different techniques. We use for getting qualitative data. We use observation schedule and interview schedule, and for getting quantitative data, we use questionnaire, test or scale. So you see, to get data for our research, we use certain techniques. We develop tool and we go to the field and take data. And we conduct our research taking two types of data also, secondary data as well as the primary data. So friends, just like other discipline, in the discipline of education, you will find that there is a definite research base, there is a definite research method, there is a definite research practice. Okay, so that's why you can say that just like other discipline, education is also a discipline. And friends, next we'll discuss that the another criteria or the characteristics of a discipline is discipline is having its own philosophy, theories and principles. Okay, and every discipline is having its own perspective. Perspective is already we have discussed the history and development. This is the historical perspective of every discipline. Education is also having its own perspective, is having its own history and development. Then education is also having its own philosophy. Every discipline is having its philosophy. Philosophy means the type of knowledge it deals. The discipline, the particular discipline deals which type of knowledge and which type of principles, which type of research base. For verifying the knowledge, what techniques, what processes that follow in the discipline. Okay, so the theories, the principles, the laws that used in a particular discipline. So you will find that there are certain theories and laws in physics, there are certain theories and laws in chemistry, there are certain theories and laws other disciplines also. So just like other discipline, in education also we use certain theories. Education also we use certain principles. Okay, so just like for personality, for measuring the personality, we have certain theory, we have certain principles, we use certain technique, we use certain process. For knowing the intelligence of the students, to knowing the aptitude of the students, to knowing the motivation of the students, to knowing the self concept of the students or the teacher, or you can say other stakeholders, those are in the field of education, those are work in the field of education, we can also do that. So that's why like other subjects, like other disciplines, we have also certain philosophy. In education discipline, we also use certain philosophy, certain theories, certain laws, certain principles. So that's why we can say that education is a discipline. Then next, you can say that in every discipline there is a group of intellectual followers. Every discipline there are a group of intellectual followers. So to whom you will say that intellectual followers? So friends, intellectual followers means you can say those are conducting certain research, and those are continuously work for that discipline. You will find that we take the name of Einstein, we take the name of Newton, we take the name of other scientists. So when we talk about the physics discipline, we take the name of few scientists. When we talk about the biology, we take the name of few scientists. When we talk about the economics, we take the name of few economists. So it may be economics, it may be scientists in different disciplines, it may be sociologist, okay, or social scientist. You see, they are the intellectual followers. They have certain faith upon that discipline, and what they do a type of research. As discipline is having a research base, they do a type of research, and with the result of the research, they try to bring innovation in that discipline. You see, from the physics, a new discipline has been emerged, that is the nanotechnology. So you see how the discipline of nanotechnology has been emerged. Whether this is the result of any research or any findings, or any a creation of new knowledge or not. Yes, definitely this is the creation of a new knowledge. This is the product of certain innovation. So that innovation, that research, who will do? So you can say every discipline is having a group of intellectual followers, just like in other discipline. In education also, we have a group of followers. You will find that the educationist, you can say, they work in this area, they do experiment and they do other field based researches, and by doing the research they bring changes in the discipline. And even if you can also take the name of the Western philosophers, the Indian philosophers, those have worked and those have given their ideas and ideologies, their concept of understanding, and basing upon their concept of understanding, we have designed our pedagogy, our teaching learning process, we have designed our educational practices. Okay, so here also, in education we highly use educational psychology is one of our branch, one of the branch of education. So when we talk about the concept of educational psychology, you will find that we study how to study the mind and how to measure or how to assess the mental attributes. Okay, so how to, the various attributes and how to measure it, what techniques we have to use, and who has developed this. When we talk about intelligence, we take the name of Binet and Simon. Okay, when we talk about personality, we take the name of Alport. So here, maybe a psychologist, maybe an educationist, maybe a Western educationist or Indian educationist. We can take the example of Sri Aurobindo. We can take the example of Mahatma Gandhi. We can take example of Swami Vivekananda. Okay, Sri Aurobindo, then Rabindranath Tagore, Gijubhai Badeka, so J. Krishnamurti. So here, when we are talking about the intellectual followers of what they have done, they are the followers of a discipline, and they have conducted research, and they have studied this discipline, and they have made this discipline as their culture. So time and again they are involved in it, they are deeply involved in it, and they have studied this discipline, they have understood this discipline very minutely, very closely, and they have brought many changes in the discipline over the time, so over the years, you can say. So that's why, just like other discipline, in education also you will find a group of intellectual followers. So that's why you can say that education is also a discipline. And further we can say that the another characteristics of a discipline, that is, every discipline is having an institutional manifestation. Okay, I'm saying that an institutional manifestation. Institutional manifestation means whenever there is a discipline, definitely that discipline is practiced in the teaching learning process. Okay, for pursuing the study of the students, that discipline has been implemented. You will find that in the university system as well as in the college system, you will find different subjects are being taught. Maybe physics, maybe mathematics, maybe chemistry, maybe sociology, maybe psychology, maybe statistics, maybe mathematics, biology, zoology. Okay, you will find that these subjects are taught at the university level as well as at the college level. Okay, so further you can say that a discipline has taken a shape of a school subject, and that school subject is being practiced in our school system. Okay, in the teaching learning process, just like you can say in the school we have elementary school curriculum, we have secondary school curriculum, we have senior secondary school curriculum, we have curriculum of mathematics as a subject, we have curriculum of science as a subject, we have curriculum of you can say social science as a subject at the elementary stage, at the same time at the secondary stage and senior secondary stage. So friends, I am not taking example of only the basic discipline. You can also take the example of other discipline, many professional discipline also. Okay, just like law, you can say your law, nursing, then education also, teacher education. You can say teacher education is one of the applied branch of education, and that teacher education is being practiced in the is practiced to prepare teachers, and those can teach at the school those can engage themselves to teach the school curriculum, to teach different subjects in the school by using a suitable pedagogy, by using, you can say, appropriate methods and techniques and maxims. So friends, here you see every discipline is having a type of institutional manifestation, and here also just like other discipline, education is having an institutional manifestation. You will find that if you go through the recommendation of the Kothari Commission 1964-66, clearly this has been mentioned that education should be practiced as a subject in the university and college level. Okay, so that's why you will find that education is being taught as one of the discipline, one of the subject in the university system. The students, they are pursuing, they are doing MA Education, Master of Arts in Education, and they are also studying education as a honors at the graduation level. But at the same time, under the umbrella of education, as teacher education is a applied branch of education, so one can also pursue a teacher education master and bachelor program, or one can do master of education, that is a professional program, that's called as the MEd. Then one can also do bachelor of education, B.Ed program, to be a teacher in the school. So friends, you see, at the master level, at the graduation level, you will find that education as a subject that is being practiced as one of the institutional manifestation. Means students are taking admission, there are certain curriculum, teachers are appointed to teach the students, students are studying, there are certain theories and principles are there, a definite curriculum is there. Okay, the students are appearing the examinations, students are doing the practicals, and the students are doing research, doing their dissertation, doing their project, just like other subject. So friends, we have discussed about the various the different characteristics of a discipline, and you can say all these characteristics of a discipline is equally and truly fit with the discipline of education. So that's why you can say that education is a discipline, because we practice all the characteristics of a discipline. At the same time, this is you can say this is many a time we do debate whether education is a professional discipline or not. Yes, education is a professional discipline, because teacher education is a professional branch of education. In teacher education, we prepare teacher. Okay, we train the teacher how to teach the students, what pedagogy should be used, and across the subject, what pedagogy, what method, what technique is suitable to teach language, to teach mathematics, to teach science, to teach social science, that is being practiced in the teaching learning process to prepare a teacher. So that's why you can say teachers are the professional, and the teacher education program is a professional program, which is one of the branch of the broad discipline of education. So friends, let us now conclude our session here, keeping in consideration of all the characteristics that we have discussed: history and development, domain or substantial body of knowledge, discipline, research base of the discipline, the philosophy. The discipline is having its philosophy, theories and the principles, laws, facts. Then discipline is having an intellectual followers, and discipline is having an institutional manifestation. You will find that all these characteristics are reflect in the discipline of education, and it is being practiced in the education discipline. So that's why you can say that definitely education is a discipline, and teacher education is a professional branch of the broad umbrella of the discipline of education. Thank you.